If there's one thing that people want, it's more energy. I actually thought about this when I was on my run this morning, and today's podcast is going to be all about how to get more energy through plant-based eating. Hi, this is Kathleen Gage with Plant-Based Eating for Health, and it really amazes me how many people are lacking energy to just get through the day. They slug their way through the day, and if they would make a few minor changes, they would have massive amounts of energy.
Are you ready to live the life you deserve? Do you want to feel vibrantly healthy and reach your optimal weight without dieting while being kind to animals and the planet? Then you're in the right place at the right time. Get ready to hear from doctors, nutritionists, experts, and everyday men and women committed to creating a powerful life in mind, body, and soul through ethical food choices. Welcome to Plant-Based Eating for Health with your host, certified plant-based nutritionist, Kathleen Gage.
So let's start with what you eat. Obviously, I'm promoting a plant-based diet, a plant-based lifestyle, and there's a very specific reason for that. One is it's better for your health. It's better for the animals. Obviously, it's compassionate to the animals, and it's better for the environment. But let's look at the digestive aspects of food. How long does it really take to digest food? And when you look at it, in most cases, for a lot of foods that we eat, it can take 2 to 3, even 4 days, and sometimes stuff gets lodged in the larger intestines, the smaller intestines, and that's why people get gas, that's why they get bloated, that's why they feel really sluggish. Now, I pulled up an article on the internet because I was really curious about, really what does it take to digest food? And in general, food takes 24 to 72 hours to move through your digestive tract. So 24 to 72 hours. The amount of time, the exact amount of time really depends on how much food you've eaten and the types of food you've eaten. If it's a lot of processed food, if it's large amounts of food, it's going to take a lot longer to get through your digestive tract. And the solution that a lot of people have is they go on these fasting protocols for days on end, and they think that's going to fix their problem. The reality is what will fix your problem is to go on a plant-based diet. Now, the rate of digestion is also based on factors like your age, your gender, your metabolism, if you have any digestive issues that will slow down or speed up the process. At first, the food's going to go through your tract quite rapidly. However, within 6 to 8 hours, once it moves its way through the stomach, the small intestine, and the large intestine, then it starts getting blocked. And once it's in your large intestine, the partially digested contents of your meal can sit there for more than a day while it's broken down even more. And in some cases, again, depending on how much stuff, and I want to say how much crap you have inside of your digestive system, it can take even longer. If you're eating a lot of meat and fish, it can take 2 days or longer to fully digest. The proteins and fats that are contained in meat and fish will actually take longer to digest. So you really want to look at what you're putting into your body. The quickest to digest foods are things like fruits and vegetables. And the higher in fiber they are, the more efficiently they run through your tract. So if you're running out of energy, the first thing to look at is, what are you consuming? Are you drinking enough water? A protocol that I definitely recommend is that first thing in the morning when you get up, drink a big glass of water. I actually have a container of water ready for me to drink, and it's probably about 16 ounces where I just down that, and that immediately goes to work in my system. So that's a great way to wake yourself up, is to drink 16 to 24 ounces of water first thing in the morning. And you want to make sure that it's clean water. So if you're in an area where your tap water is not really that good, you probably want to consider getting water that has been filtered and is really good for you. Another thing that you want to look at is not eating first thing in the morning. Give your body time to wake up. And what a lot of people do is they really don't plan their days out very well. They go to bed late. They get up with just enough time to throw themselves in the shower, get ready, get in their car, and get on the road. Now, with a lot of people nowadays, because of COVID-19 and stay-at-home orders, and a lot of people are working remotely, they skip the shower and they go right into their home office and they start working, and maybe they're eating at their desk. You want to stop that routine immediately. One of the things I do first thing in the morning, as I mentioned, is I drink water. Then what I do is I actually do a morning meditation. You can go right onto YouTube, and I'll put some links below this video in the blog post of some of the YouTube videos that I watch that are all about meditation and creativity, meditation and focus, meditation and energy, meditation and abundance. Anything that you want to meditate on, you can find it on YouTube. I like the 10 to 20 minute videos because it's enough time to really get me centered, but it's not going to take up my whole morning because I have other things I do also. So I do my meditation. Then what I do is I read out of an inspirational book. Right now I'm reading out of the Abundance book. It's a 40-day process, and by John Randolph. Can't think of his last name, but I'll put the link to his book there too. And for 40 days, I read a short passage and then I write about it. It's a 15-minute process. So I've got 15 minutes of meditation, 15 minutes of my writing and reading, and then I journal for a while, and then I do yoga. And one of my favorite yoga people is Jen Hillman, and I also find her on YouTube. There's so much available on YouTube that to not access that great resource can be a huge mistake, because rather than jumping into the news, rather than jumping right on social media and seeing how much you're loved, instead of doing things for self-care, you're doing yourself a disservice. So we've got meditation, we've got reading inspirational material and journaling, we've got yoga. And then I go out on a run. Today I did about a 3.5 mile run, and it's already getting pretty hot. So I went early in the morning. I left right before 7 o'clock, ran for a little while, came back, worked in my garden for about a half hour before it got too hot for the day. I have a pretty huge garden, so there's a lot of work to do. And it's a never-ending process. But what that allowed me to do was prepare for the day. And all of this before I consumed any food. So that's the key right there. Intermittent fasting is pretty popular, and I know a lot of plant-based people that do intermittent fasting. They may do their first meal at 10 or 11 in the morning, and then they finish their eating around 6 or 7 at night, and so they're on an 8-16. So 8 hours of consumption, 16 hours of giving your body a rest. And it's amazing how much we've been led to believe that we need to eat 3 square meals. We need to eat X number of calories. We need to eat red meat. We need to eat fish for protein. All the misguided information. The reality is we don't need as much food as we've been led to believe. At least not the high-calorie foods. If you were to consume a diet of 1,500 to 2,000 calories of a plant-based diet, you would have more than enough food to get you through the day. So I start my first meal usually at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I start with a bowl of oatmeal that has frozen mangoes and blackberries, because you can't always get those fresh. So I have mangoes and blackberries, no added sugar. I put almond milk on it. I microwave that for a few minutes. And I know there's some people that don't do any microwaving. That's okay. You can do it over the stovetop. Then what I do is I add in sliced almonds. I add in cinnamon. I add in flaxseed and chia seeds. And I mix that up. And that is my morning meal. And it's a huge, hearty bowl of oatmeal. That gets me through till about 1, maybe 2 o'clock. Then I have a big salad. On the salad, I have lots of beans, lots of legumes. I have avocados. I have a homemade Caesar vegan dressing or whatever. I might put lemon on it. But my lunch is usually my biggest meal of the day. And I based that on Dr. Joel Furman's book, Eat to Live. It's a great resource. If you haven't gotten the book yet, I highly recommend you get the book, Eat to Live. That will actually give you the foundation for eating healthy as a plant-based eater. Then for dinner, I usually have some kind of a crock pot meal. My crock pot meal right now, we do have a garden and we have a lot of zucchini, a lot of squash, we have peppers. The tomatoes are just about ready to ripen and I'll be adding those in. But my crock pot meal consists of a lot of different types of vegetables, onions, lots of garlic. I love garlic and it's good for you. I might put in coconut milk, or I might put in organic vegetable broth that has no meat products in it whatsoever. And that will last a few days. So I make a crock pot full and I put that over black rice, might have a small side of salad, and that's pretty much what my day consists of. The thing that you want to look at is, what is the quality of life that you want? And are you doing everything in your power to give yourself the energy that you need in order to accomplish the goals that you have? The reality is that our healthcare system is more of a sick care system than it is a healthcare system. The reality is that a lot of the complications that are being caused during the whole COVID situation are a direct result of pre-existing conditions. When they put the numbers out about how many more cases there are and how many people are hospitalized, how many deaths there have been, I really wish that they would list all the underlying causes, because I'm not here to say that COVID is not a real thing. It's a very real thing. And I believe in masks. I believe in social distancing. I believe in washing your hands. But I also believe in the truth. And the truth is that a great many people that are dealing with complications, it's because there are underlying conditions, whether it be high blood pressure, whether it be obesity, diabetes, stroke, heart condition. There could be any number of factors that are contributing to the complications. And rarely do you hear about people that are plant-based eaters having those types of complications. The reality is that you can reverse diseases that up until this point we've been led to believe are all it's a part of life, and it's just the way it is. And it's not if you get cancer, it's when you get cancer. It's not if you get heart disease, it's when you get heart disease. It's not if you get diabetes, it's when you get diabetes. And the fact is, you don't have to get these diseases if you choose to go on a whole food plant-based diet. Now that's the key, whole food plant-based, because just being vegan is not necessarily going to be the healthiest choice for you. There's healthy vegans and there's unhealthy vegans. You can eat chips and you can be a vegan. You can eat Oreo cookies and you can be a vegan. My protocol is about being a whole food plant-based vegan. And I like to say that I'm vegan for compassion and I'm plant-based for health. I'm vegan for compassion and I'm plant-based for health. So I encourage you, if you want more energy. Now, I'm 66 years old and I went on a 3.5-mile run this morning, worked in my garden for a half hour. I've been in my office having a great day. I'm really focused. I started my day with my morning protocol. Again, it includes meditation, journaling, reading something inspirational, yoga, going out on a run, drinking plenty of fluids, and I'm very vibrant. And that didn't happen by chance, because I wasn't always this way. There was a period in my life where I truly was a couch potato. And the greatest distance I went for the day was from the couch to the refrigerator. That's about it. On weekends, I would lay on the couch and eat cookies and watch TV for 24/7. It was crazy. Well, today I can't even imagine doing that. Today, my life is full of activity, and a lot of it is outdoor activity. I work in my garden. We have 5 acres in Oregon, and so there's a lot of work to do on the property. I run a lot. I'm really excited because the first race that I'm able to run in quite some time because of COVID is happening this weekend. So I'm very excited about that. It's the Ridgecrest run in Oregon. And I look at the quality of life that I have and the quality of life that the people I associate with who are also plant-based and who really take care of themselves, the quality of life they have. And it doesn't mean that you have to be 100% plant-based, but start moving in that direction. Make replacements. Get rid of the cookies and replace it with an orange. Get rid of the cakes and replace it with apples. Get rid of the meat and replace it with tofu. There's plenty of ways that you can make this transition without having to suffer through it. Because a lot of people say, oh, I could never give up cheese, or I could never give up red meat. And it's not that you could never give it up. It's that you choose not to. And the thing that I always invite people to look at is, what is the process that the food that's on your plate, regardless of how you eat, but whatever's on your plate, reverse engineer it and think about where that food came from. Did it come from a seed, or did it come from a baby that grew up to a certain age, was pumped through full of steroids, was pumped full of antibiotics, was pumped full of stuff to make it grow big, fast, and it lived a torturous life? Is that the kind of food you're eating? No wonder energetically you don't have the energy. You can have more energy than you even thought possible when you choose to go on a whole food, plant-based diet. This is Kathleen Gage with Plant-Based Eating for Health, encouraging you. Subscribe to this channel, leave a review, and do yourself a favor. Go plant-based. If you're not quite sure how to do it, go to my blog, plantbasedeatingforhealth.com. That's plantbasedeatingforhealth.com. Get my beginner's guide. It's about my journey when I first went plant-based a couple of years ago and what the first 3 months were like for me. I've had phenomenal changes. I've released 35 pounds. I don't have inflammation like I did. I don't get daily headaches like I used to. I think I've had 2 headaches since I've gone plant-based, and both times I was in the dental chair. So I told my dentist, you give me headaches. But it was just from having my mouth open. I was having some bridge work done, and my mouth was open for quite a period of time. So it was just the stress from keeping my mouth open. But the reality is that you don't have to have headaches. You don't have to have inflammation. You don't have to have sluggishness. You can have a way of life and a level of energy in your life that is unbelievable when you choose to go whole food, plant-based. And don't do it forever. Just do it for today, and then do it for tomorrow, and do it for the next day. Try it for 7 days and really give it 100% effort and see how you feel after 7 days. Now, if you're eating a lot of foods that are really toxic type foods, and you're eating a lot of sugar, and you're eating a lot of flour, and you're eating a lot of meat, and you're eating a lot of cheese, you will go through a detox period. So you need to know that. You are going to go through a detox period. But once you get to the other side of it, you will be amazed at how great you can feel. This is Kathleen Gage with Plant-Based Eating for Health, encouraging you. Go out, live the life you're meant to live, and be the rock star you're meant to be. Have a great day.
Thank you for your commitment to an ethical life through plant-based food choices. The kind of choices that are kind to your body, the environment, and most of all, animals. Be sure to leave a review and rating of the Plant-Based Eating for Health podcast show.